Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to another episode of Fictional Character Motivation. I'm your host, Quan, and today we're going to be talking about the movie Southpaw and how our losses shape us for the better. Hope everyone's doing pretty well. Hope everyone's staying warm, and if not, trying to get warm. And here we go. Southpaw came out in the year 2015. Billy, the Great Hope, reigning junior middleweight boxing champ, has an impressive career, loving wife and daughter, and a lavish lifestyle. However, when tragedy strikes, Billy hits rock bottom, losing family, house, and manager. He soon finds an unlikely savior in Tick Willis, a former fighter who trains the city's toughest amateur boxers. With his future on the line, Hope fights to reclaim the trust of those he loves the most. Um, as some of y'all may know, I'm a big martial arts guy, and boxing is considered martial art. And I really love seeing any movie that involves boxing, MMA, martial arts. Like that is That is one of my go-tos besides horror, as you know, that drives me to the theater. Good action scenes, and this was a very good movie. The drama was actually too real because he faced not only the hardest loss, but multiple losses of the same weight. The wife passed. He lost another fight, which means no money. He lost his daughter and place to live. And now pretty much he has to pick his feet back up, or at least try to, after all those losses. Now, listing all those losses, that's also a little bit too real for this year, 2020. I mean, especially earlier this year, to where there was no possible jobs going on, and one half everybody was trying to be cool, but the other half people were either losing their jobs, which means they're possibly about to lose their homes soon. So that is always just that is pretty much a really scary thought in that spot. But he got a job with the popular trainer in the area, but as a cleaning man. And he couldn't train boxing. He couldn't train, he couldn't prepare for another fight. He couldn't even have fighters prepare for anything else. He was just deemed down to the position of cleaning man. To be denied not only his lifestyle, his family, and his passion, I think that is rock bottom for sure. When you can not only live to where you used to live, be with the people you used to be with, but you cannot also do the passion, do the thing that puts an actual fire in your belly, that makes you feel good about you. That that really is like some sort of a hell, I would say, but it is pretty much complete rock bottom. But if that is the worst of the worst, the only way to get the only way to get out of that is literally to look up and go up. When when we need to change or get to the next level, sometimes an event that has to happen is a negative one, a negative event, a bad event that we didn't foresee, that we thought we prepared for, we didn't. Um, Something that we wish didn't happen but did. Sometimes that event has to happen for us to get to the next level or for us to change to be the person that we need to be. Even though losing hurts, some good came from it. From this one, Billy had to go back to being humbled again, working a job that he almost saw above. Like, I don't do that. I'm a welterweight. I don't do that kind of job. That's not me. He had to be humbled until he done the job. He saw that some of his habits were negative and had to face and fix them. There are times where we feel that, we're all in control. And I like to say half of that is true. Yes, half of that you are in control. The other half, I like to split it up into I like to split up into two categories. One is other people, and two is God, the universe, the events going on, everything else. So yeah, that's how I view it as. It's 50-50, and literally it's 50-50 with other people too. So got to keep that in mind. But having those moments, he started to become humbled. He saw some habits that were negative and he needed to face them. He needed to correct them. And thanks to being with Tick long enough and him finally earning his good side of being trained by Tick, he learned a new way to box, which actually gave him more energy, more tactics, and also made sure that he didn't get hit in the face as often. Because I don't know if you've seen the movie, but Billy's main tactic before he met Tick was that he pretty much boxed, but he'd want to get hit because getting hit would give him energy, or so he thought. It would give him energy to go in and hit harder than the other guy. But there's always a cost to that. And with Tig, he didn't want to risk him getting, you know, going in and getting hit multiple times before he can hit the other guy sometimes. He wanted the guy to actually have strategy. He wanted the guy to actually have a guard. He wanted the guy to be aware and be able to dodge and block and respond and even counter in most cases. So that's what happens during the losses. So how can our losses teach us to be better? As usual, I have some ideas. These ideas are pretty much going to go into both something that we need to view any kind of loss being a rejection counts as loss, being denied a job, being denied a certain pay, either of those. And I'm going to see them pretty much in two ways. One way is pretty much a practical way, and one way is almost a spiritual way. So, the practical way is if you experience a loss. If a lose can be a sign of needing to improve more and try again. And just using my reference, both in pretty much as a martial artist. In martial arts, there is a time to where you're fighting someone and they just pummel you into the ground. They can be an awesome spar, awesome grappler, a mixture of the two. They just keep tearing you up. And you sometimes walk defeated because you didn't happen to get that guy. But if you persevere, what might need to happen is that you just need to improve just a bit more in strategy, technique, speed, skill, and try again. And when you do, you might you might get that W this time. In some cases, and you still have to pick what cases it is. That's all it may need to be. You just may need to improve what you're doing, improve what you usually do, get better at it, try again, and you may become victorious that time. So that's one way. Like I said, this can be applied in a lot of cases, but this is pretty much the mindful way, the intellectual way, that if you lose, Maybe you need to improve a little bit more, read up, study up, test up, and then try again. And you might get that win. The other way that we can view a loss, this is the spiritual way, is a loss could be a door closing so another one can open. Now, this is pretty much the one that we've heard a lot, but when you really view a loss, a failure, a rejection, any of those in either of these two lights, then there's no way technically you cannot be beaten. Because in one way, the mindful way, you see it as a path of improvement. If I lost here, I just got to do a lot more stuff. Just got to study up. I got to re-up. I got to do this thing. In another way, you just may not be good or worthy at that spot, but that's because another place, another spot, another person, another subject, another thing could be opening a door to you. And it's slightly calling you to come in that direction because that might be the spot where all your wins will happen. And with nearing the end of this year, I might do pretty much a New Year's podcast that pretty much sums up a lot of these takeaways that I think would be awesome. But in pretty much in this year, we've all experienced a bit of loss. We've all had to stay home for just a little bit, or we all had to change our ways to accommodate certain things. But know that a loss is not completely a loss. A loss is either you learn something from it or you gain something from it. Or it's something that's telling you to say, hey, right here may not be a good option, but over there might be. And that is completely fine. That is actually the best way to view losses when you think about it. One of the guys that I want to reference is Gary Vaynerchuk. I'm a fan of his work. Is how he would view any of his losses. Is one, it's his loss. There's been a couple losses that he's had in the investing and business side to where even though people go like, ooh, oh, it's just like, yeah, I know, but it's my loss. I took that shot. That's what happens. But on the other end, he also sees as something diving into something about how you might suck at one thing, but the thing is we all suck at something, just like we're all good at something, and we have to find that good thing. You know, he encourages that even though he's the icon of entrepreneurship, he always tells people like, look, you don't have to be an entrepreneur. You can be the number 2 guy. You can be the number 3 guy. And to show you what I mean, you can be the number 2 guy. You can be the number 3 guy. Yes, you can own a business. Yes, you can do that, but it just may not work out for you. And there's nothing wrong with being the number 2 or 3 guy. Remember, everybody, and just kind of quoting what he said, the number 2 or 3 guy in Facebook made a bunch more money than all of us in here in this room. And it's the truth. You got to find out what your path is, what connects with you, and go for that. But still sticking with the subject on Billy Hope and losses. After all those losses, after all those things he had to change, spoiler alert, he did slowly get back on top. Though it was not the same, but it shouldn't be the same. It should always be different. You should always experience something different. And with losses, I hope that whatever loss it is, like I said, any kind of failure, any kind of losing, any kind of rejection that you gain throughout the rest of your life, I hope that you view it as one of these two things. Either view it as something you need to improve upon and try again, or a door that is closed, but that's because another door is about to open. I hope this helped out. I hope this landed for somebody. Please let me know. As usual, I am um, on this YouTube channel, Mind of Quan. If you happen to like this kind of stuff, please hit me up. Please like this. Please subscribe. Please send a comment. I want to know if this landed, if this hit somebody, if this gave somebody chills or whatnot. But regardless, I'm here for you using my nerdy um, analytical side on movies to see if I can gleam in some things to help you through life and through your day. And as usual, I have the podcast, Fictional Character Motivation, that this is converted to. If you're a fan of the podcast, please let me know. I've been seeing some statistics on Anchor. I've been actually seeing some people actually listen to myself. And for the people who are listening, I am eternally grateful. I'm eternally humbled. And I'm actually surprised and in awe that y'all find my content good to listen to. I appreciate you. I hope you have an awesome day. Hope everything goes smooth with you. Remember, view your loss is either something to rise above or a door that's closed, then you need to go to a different spot. Hope everyone's doing well. Keep going, keep moving. I believe in you. Deuces.